The clothing brands don't fail because their products don't sell. They fail in spite of doing good sales. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's the brutal truth of the fashion industry. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Many startups come to me once they start having problems and they have no clue that why their bank figures are dipping in spite of them having good sales. Now, many had genuinely good designs, decent marketing strategy, and even early traction with customers. Yet, within 6 to 12 months, they were close to shutdown. Now, why does this keep happening? Fashion is heavy operation based business, and founders suffer due to ignorance of back end role. Today, I am going to break down the four critical reasons why clothing brands collapse even when they are having good sales, and we will also look at how to avoid these pitfalls. So, the first reason brands fail is incorrect costing. Founders often calculate direct costs like fabric cost, make detail cost, but forget to consider the indirect costs like development cost, doing multiple samples, doing adjustment during the production, reworking on the defective pieces, logistical costs, there are returns and exchanges, and there is unsold inventory. There are expenses due to delays, etc., etc., etc. Now, although sales feels good, cash is quietly bleeding from different places. By the time you realize your cash flow is choking and capital is depleting. Now, what's the solution? You got to build a cost model which includes each and every expense, and you also buffer some unforeseen costs. Also, you need to track your costings every month, not wait for the yearly details. Now, what's the second reason? The second reason is manufacturer dependency. For startups, starting with one factory is a necessity. But what kind of factory are you starting with? Do you have any leverage with them? Do you have any say there so that if something goes off, you can put your foot down? No, you don't. Imagine when those factories start to have their big customers pushing for their production, what happens to your production timeline? What happens to the quality of your production? And in the end, you end up bearing expenses that you didn't account for. Now, what's the solution? You can start with a factory where you will have some say. You may start with a small sampling room, which can give you low MOQ also, or a small factory which is ready to scale once your quantities grow bigger. Now, let's look at the third reason. And the third reason is MOQ trap. Now, what is the MOQ trap? Low MOQ means less upfront investment, quick turnaround time, but there is a flip side to it also. And the flip side is that the costs are higher. Development charges, they rise. And fabric sourcing is mostly an issue with the low MOQs. Quality that often gets compromised if you're working with a very big factory. Now, all this adds up to the cost, but this gets ignored as not being a direct cost. So, what's the solution? Solution is to use readily available stock fabric. Use small manufacturer or sample rooms who can provide you quality without delays, and work with a manufacturer who is ready to scale. Now let's look at the fourth reason. The fourth reason is that there is no operational system, in the sense there are no detailed tech packs, there are no quality checkpoints, there are no production calendar, and communication is mostly on phone and WhatsApp. There is no documentation. This is perfect setup for problems. Now, startups often end up firefighting these situations rather than paying attention to where they need to pay attention to. Now, what's the solution? No shortcut to investing time in building systems right from day one. The bottom line is clothing brands don't fail because fashion is risky, but operation part is often considered boring and time consuming. But getting into the details of operations provides backend strength, which is essential for all businesses. Now, in the coming videos, we will cover costing models, manufacturer relationships, production systems, quality control, etc. Everything that you need to build sustainable brand. Now subscribe if you want to build a sustainable brand. See you in the next video.